Hey YouTube world, how's everybody doing tonight? The title of this video is called "What's Race Got to Do with It?" We are just coming back from an event, and a really cool event that we attended, and a lot of the people there I had known or know me, and so it made it quite easy for me to interact and mingle with people. And so it was my wife's first time being at this event. And the reason why we came up with this title was because introducing a lot of my friends, a lot of my associates to my wife, as I was introducing them to her, the question comes up either in their mind or comes out of them is, where did you all meet? And so we have to go into an explanation about us meeting on Facebook dating. And so I believe a lot of people asked the question because of our race. So that's why we decided to title this, "What's Race Got to Do with It?"
Yes. So, well, we just wanted to talk about race generally, and we wanted to discuss the good and the bad of being in an interracial relationship or marriage, or any sort of thing like that. What are the good and the bad? So today we are going to be discussing that with my husband. And hopefully we could have some, another interracial couple that we invite on our YouTube and get to hear their perspective. Or feel free to comment down below, and we'll be more than excited to respond to those comments, to any questions, and just interact and get to know what your opinions are. So, by the way, I have a really cool sweatshirt right here. Super cool. I'll tag the person where I got it. It's really cool. But anyway, trying to get back to the gist of today's topic. Babe, let's start with the disadvantages or the downs or the cons. In Luganda, we call them ABB. So what are those things that you think are in your experience, or even just maybe not your experience, but just thinking about it? I know you've had friends that are not of your race, or people you've interacted with. Even just that, what do you think are the disadvantages? Any that you can think of?
I don't know if I want to say they're disadvantages, but learning the customs, the culture is quite a challenge. My wife and I, we have we set a lot of time apart so that we can talk and, just kind of interact and communicate with each other about what's going on in our lives and what's going on individually as well as together as a married couple. And there are some things that I may express to her, which I know what I mean, what I'm saying, but when it comes out, she does not. She interprets it the wrong way. So these are some of the challenges of, I don't speak Luganda. I tried, but it's a challenge. Anyways, so those are some of the challenges when we're talking, and I may be expressing certain things the way I feel or the way what I'm thinking, and she will misinterpret them, and she will take them for being something bad, which I would never intend for my communication with her to come off bad or harsh or negative or insulting. So those are some of the challenges. But I don't look at them as disadvantages. I just look at them as an opportunity to learn and to grow together and to understand more about my wife and who she is and how she thinks and what she feels. So What about for you?
Well, I think I know for sure that those two you just mentioned, you say the customs, the culture,
The culture.
culture and communication are by far the biggest. Um, my husband calls them challenges, and I guess that's one example I could use. How preference of words that you would, he's an American, and there's certain words you would use to mean a certain thing, and they can be perceived differently for in the American culture. So culture has been for me one of the things, a learning point, honestly. And like you said, we're still learning the culture, the American culture, how things are perceived, how things are done. Most of the things, honestly, do not are like shocking to me, and I think for him as well, there are things that are shocking to him that he gets to learn about my culture. So for whoever is there, people that want or are getting into an interracial relationship, or would like to get into an interracial relationship, or are kind of like fascinated and are curious to know, that is one of the things, the culture. Very important that you get to know the culture, because that alone just makes up life, and it could either throw you off if you're not the kind of person who wants to like learn and grow and get to know this person's culture. Then two, he mentioned communication, and yes, it's been one of the other challenges. Communication. When I'm mad or I'm angry about something, I would prefer to one, either just keep quiet, because the best way I want to, in that moment when I'm angry or mad or a little upset, I want to communicate in my mother tongue. And again, I'm from Uganda. My mother tongue is Luganda, like my husband said. And but I'm just going to communicate and he will not understand it. So I would rather just keep quiet and kind of like compose myself, compose the words I'm going to use to pass the point across to him, versus him, when I am upset, he wants me to like say it there and then, because that's, I mean, he speaks English, he's spoken English all his life, so it comes easy for him to expect me to say it there and then, versus when I would rather just like keep quiet, or just like be upset and speak in Luganda, and yet you're not even going to understand what I'm going to say. So then the third is the food. Maybe you did not talk about the food. I guess it's not an issue. The food is, I mean, food is life. We all know that. Yeah. If you're not very curious and open to learn new foods, this is something you want to rethink, or just be open to learn new things, and kind of switch it up a little, because he has different kinds of food that he loves to eat and are very sentimental to him. I have different foods that I like to eat, and sometimes we might be caught in a place where I'm like, do we make Ugandan food today, or do we make American food today? Like, I want Ugandan food, no, I want American food. So that is something that the third thing. What else?
I don't know, but if I can go back to the original, what's race got to do with it? We have our church family, and then we have our friends, and so a lot of people still to this day, they ask, how did we meet? And I think that has a lot to do with our race. I think, in the back of their mind, they don't want to ask the question, well, how is it being married to a Mexican man or a Ugandan woman, or vice versa? They don't want to ask those questions. So their go-to is, how did you all meet? They don't but there, when they ask, there's a lot more curiosity behind the question. So
So yeah, that's very true. I actually did not realize that that's how he was kind of analyzing the question, but it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we get this question all the time, and I don't believe I've been asked this question in my previous relationships before. Maybe because it wasn't interracial, so it makes sense for him to think that that's what they're trying to intend. But anyway, we could maybe talk about the good things about it.
yeah,
Yeah. What do you think? You could go first, babe.
Ugandan food.
Okay.
Yeah, eating. Well, one of my favorites would be goat meat, right? And my wife has made Rolex. So what Rolex is it a breakfast?
It could
Considered
be
a
anything: breakfast, lunch,
breakfast,
dinner.
lunch, or dinner. But basically, it's
a
like
snack, yeah.
I would say it's a tortilla, but it's not a tortilla. It's called chapati,
Yeah.
and you scramble eggs with onions and tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can put anything else in it, right?
Yeah, you could put it.
And you roll it up in this makeshift looking type of tortilla, but it's called chapati. Anyways, amazing. Last night we had, what did we have?
Last night I made peanut paste, which is peanut paste in Uganda.
Yes.
But I mean, I use peanut and sweet potatoes, which they call yams. So I was kind of trying to pull the Ugandan food in, but
Right.
yeah, just to switch it up. Also.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you that my experience with the Ugandan community that we have here, they're the most loving, kind, great spirited people. They're so caring and considerate and genuine, and they just love and want to have a great time. And I feel blessed to have them in my life, and I'm excited. My mom, our mother, and our father live in Uganda, so we gotta get out there, go meet them, go meet the rest of the family, and I'm looking forward to this. So those are just some of the best things. But I'm gonna tell you that if my mind was closed off to dating someone outside of my race, I would have never been able to have this experience, especially the experience that I'm having with this amazing woman, my wife, and talking with her, with our mom and our dad over there in Uganda, and her son who's over there, and our brothers. It's an amazing thing. I'm going to tell you that if I hadn't opened my mind and was willing or wanted to even try to date outside of my race, I wouldn't have been able to have such an amazing woman like my wife is. So that's another positive.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Welcome.
And for me, I think again one of the positives has been being able to live and interact for life with a different culture. And again, I had said that was one of the challenges, but it's a positive on the other hand, because you get to learn a lot how things are done differently. You get to learn outside your box, just knowing that, actually people survive by doing this as well. If it's something that my culture does not stand by, and I thought, the world should, like everywhere else in the world, people should do the same, actually they don't do things the same, and they still survive. So getting to learn those new things, the new culture. One example I'll give. I personally feel that my being time cautious, how do I say that? Time sensitive, I guess. has improved really greatly because I'm associated with
With
an American who, I mean, Americans are like, it's all about time. Like everything in their life is just managed by time, not by
you gotta
themselves.
be on time or be early.
So my time management has greatly improved. My husband will tell you it hasn't, because his time management levels are like way up there. But based on how I was and how I am now, honestly, that's something I've seen improvement in, and I am like, I give kudos to myself. If you know what kudos means is like a pat on the shoulder or in the back. So that's a new word for you. So those are some of the things, the advantages. Also, you know, getting to be loved and love in a different language. You guys, I mean,
yes,
you know what I mean. So getting to be loved and love in a different language is something new, and it's beautiful.
it's exciting.
It's exciting, which I really appreciate my husband for that. So let us know if you have any questions, any other things you would like us to talk about. We just thought we wanted to come and share about the pros and the cons. I guess I'll call them the pros and cons about being in an interracial relationship. But we're more than willing to talk more about this topic. What is race got to do with it? So
yeah, leave a comment. Let us know if you've ever dated outside of your race. It's something you might be thinking about. You know, have you done any research? Do you know the culture? Do you speak the language? Do you know anything about the food? These are some of the things you may want to think about before, or maybe you'll learn about once you go into it, if that's what you decide. But leave a comment. Let us know, what were your experiences like if you've already done it, or if you're in that type of relationship as we speak. And we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get to learn more about you, and we'd love to learn from you. We'd love to give our perspective, what we're learning, right back to you. So thank you all for watching, and we will be back soon.